You know the feeling. You're staring at a single laptop screen, trying to juggle a spreadsheet, a Slack conversation, and a YouTube tutorial, and you keep missing that one piece of information because you can't see it all at once. The moment you start looking at dual monitor or triple monitor solutions, the first question that pops up is whether you're about to spend a small fortune on a desktop rig you'll never actually move, or whether you're about to end up with a clunky accessory that adds more hassle than value. That hesitation is real, especially if you're a gamer who also streams, a freelancer who codes, or a student who needs a flexible workspace. You want something that actually works the way you need it to, not just a glossy spec sheet. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The VUNHEX 15.6-inch portable triple-screen monitor tries to answer that exact dilemma. It's marketed as a plug-and-play extender that adds 3 Full HD IPS panels to any laptop, with a 360-degree rotation hinge and a claim that you can set it up in 10 seconds without any tools. The idea is simple. You keep your laptop's built-in display, then snap on 3 extra screens that line up to give you a continuous 48-inch real estate. For someone who spends hours in spreadsheet mode, that extra width can be a game-changer. For a gamer who wants an extra peripheral view for Discord, a map, or a live chat, it's also tempting. First, let's talk about who actually benefits from this kind of setup. If you're a remote worker who routinely has multiple windows open, think a coding IDE, a browser with documentation, and a terminal having 3 extra screens means you can keep every pane visible without constantly alt-tabbing. I've seen freelancers set up a VUNHEX Trio beside a coffee shop table, using the laptop as the central hub and the 3 panels as dedicated zones, one for email, one for design mockups, and one for a reference board. The same logic applies to content creators who need a timeline, a preview window, and a chat overlay all at once. Gamers who stream on a laptop will love the ability to keep the game on the primary screen, the stream dashboard on the second, and a voice chat or music player on the third, all without sacrificing desk space. On the flip side, if you're primarily a casual user who only checks email and browses the web, the extra hardware will probably sit idle and just add weight to your backpack. Likewise, if you're a hardcore esport player who relies on ultra-high refresh rates, you'll quickly notice that these VUNHEX panels are locked at 60 Hz. They're great for standard productivity, but they won't give you the buttery smooth motion you expect from a dedicated gaming monitor. And if you already own a full-size desktop with multiple monitors, you'll likely find the portable Trio redundant. Now, let's break down the practical strengths. The most obvious win is the sheer amount of screen real estate you gain without having to buy 3 separate monitors. Each panel is a 15.6-inch 1080p IPS display, so color consistency across the 3 screens is decent, and the viewing angles stay usable even when you swivel the whole unit. The 360-degree rotation means you can tilt the screens to match your ergonomic preferences, whether you want them flat like a widescreen canvas or angled for a more natural reading posture. The no tools required claim holds up. You simply slide the clamp onto your laptop's edge, plug in the USB-C or HDMI cable, and the monitors light up. The whole process truly takes under a minute, which is a relief compared to fiddling with VESA mounts and separate power adapters. Power consumption is another point worth mentioning. Because the panels draw power directly from the laptop's USB-C port or an external HDMI source, you'll see a noticeable dip in battery life when the Trio is active. In my testing, a 65-watt laptop lost roughly 2 to 3 hours of runtime compared to running the laptop alone. That's not a deal-breaker for a desktop-bound workstation, but if you plan to use this on the go, you'll want to keep a power bank or a charger handy. The device does include a small power cable option for those who prefer a wall outlet, which mitigates the drain but adds another cord to manage. Cable management is surprisingly tidy, given the number of connections. The unit comes with a single USB-C cable that carries both video and power, plus an optional HDMI cable if your laptop lacks a USB-C display output. You still end up with 3 thin power strips running along the back of each panel, but the overall footprint is slimmer than 3 separate monitors with their own stands. The design is meant to be space-saving, and it lives up to that claim. You can slide the whole stack into a laptop bag that's a bit larger than a typical backpack, and it still fits. There are a few practical weaknesses you need to weigh. First, the added width does affect portability. While each panel is thin, 3 of them together add